The Ant House. This is a really ridiculous story about a woman who lived on her own in a tickety-boo house, everything at right angles and edges well squared up. This woman went to great pains and lengths to keep her house in regimental order. There wasn't a loose pile of books to be found, only books neatly graded in order of size, leaning in tidy numbered shelves. Not a speck of dust was to be found either, and the curtains carefully matched the colour of the sofas, carpet and tablecloth. Now one day a tragedy struck. A huge storm blew up and sucked off most of the roof. The walls collapsed partially. The windows were shattered. Sofas and cushions were ripped apart. Blankets which had always lain in neat folded piles were strewn about. Her house was in ruins, and the woman was distraught. She sat there and sobbed, for she had lost her dear home. While she cried helplessly, along came a troop of unlikely-looking soldier ants. They felt sorry for her and offered to help her build it up again. The woman looked doubtful, but had no option, and they settled on a fair price for the task. So the ants set to work rebuilding the wrecked house. Purple roof, build it up. Yellow gutters, build it up. Turquoise chimney, build it up. Build up the old woman's house. Pink and green walls, build it up. Polka dot doors, build it up. Triangle windows, build it up. Build up the old woman's house. Upside down roof, build it up. Spiral stairways, build it up. Inside out rooms, build it up. Build up the old woman's house. The woman could not bear to watch, for she hated anything in disarray, and a building in progress is a pretty shabby sight indeed. The ants were really hard workers, and in no time they had finished their work. They summoned the woman, who looked in horror. Her hand clapped over her mouth, and with a shriek she declared, "I can't live in that!" And she sent them away without any pay. What was wrong with the house? Well, structurally it was strong as a tree again, but it did look a bit odd. The roof was painted a bright purple and was upside down, with a garden growing out of it. One wall was bright orange, the next a garish yellow, the third pink, the fourth fire red, and yes, the fifth, for there were 5 walls to this odd-shaped house, was pitch black. The windows were shaped some as triangles, diamonds, some as pentagons, and they were all rimmed with different colours and filled with spotted glass. The chimney emerged sideways and spiraled skywards. The door was halfway up the wall, and a long ladder had to be climbed to reach it. "I can't live in that!" she shrieked again. "It's a mixed-up place. It's all upside down and inside out. It looks ridiculous. Nothing is as it should be. Everything is in the wrong order, and it is not a proper house at all, as a proper house should be." The woman ranted on in this fashion for a long time. She did not notice people walking by, looking quizzically first at her and then at the house. They tilted their heads upwards to take in the spectacle before them. They pointed and gasped, whispered and giggled. They strode round the house, poking at it, examining it from all angles, of which there were many, and declared that it was the most extraordinary sight they had ever seen. At that moment, the ants strode back and lined up in front of the house and started singing loudly in chorus and doing the can-can, a sort of dance where the legs do the high kick. My, what a spectacular show that was, with this multicoloured house in the background, and the ants linked arm in arm, dancing in front of it. Build it up, the old woman's house. Build up the old woman's house. Build it up, build it up. Build up the old woman's house. Build it up, build it up, build it up. Build the old woman's house. Up house and build the woman. Old house, build the woman. Old and up, build up the old woman's house. A crowd began to gather, people pointing and laughing gaily.
The woman sat on the sidelines with her mouth hanging open like a trapdoor, watching the perky party gathering. Then she put back her head and began to laugh. She laughed at the gorgeous wacky house, at the zippy tenacious little ants who just would not give up. And soon she was linked, arm in arm with them in a row, high kicking her legs along with them, doing the can-can.
Build up the old woman's house. Build up the old woman's house. Build it up, build it up. Build up the old woman's house. Build it up, build it up, build it up. Build the old woman's house. Up house and build a woman. Old house, build the woman. Old and up, build up the old woman's house. Yeah!
What a party that was! A true housewarming party of such gaiety. When at great length it finished, the whole bunch of ants moved into this funny house along with the woman, and they lived happily for a long time together, the ants burrowing new tunnels and passages day after day, and continually rearranging the furniture and even the walls. The woman never knew from day to day where her things might be, indeed even whether the door would be in the same place. But she was happier than ever and continued to laugh aloud about the state of her house and home.